So, next step in the Aristo build. What are we doing, Greg?
We are installing a subwoofer into the back of this car.
And a subwoofer amp. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, let's get started.
Feel it coming back, watch it turn to black, but I'm brighter when you make me fade. You make me.
Alright, so what have we got? Well, so far on the car, we did a whole service, did an oil change, did brake pad change, and I need to get new rotors eventually, but that's going to happen all in good time. Now, we have carpet, we have wood, and we have contact cleaner. Contact glue, whatever. Contact adhesive, that's a good name. Anyway, so yeah. That's the stock subwoofer. That is going to be taken out and it's going to be replaced with a Pioneer shallow mount subwoofer. Now the reason why I went with a shallow mount versus any other 12-inch sub is because I want to keep the air purifier in there, and that sub does, as far as I know, it works well for free to air stuff. It's not the best sub for it, but well, it's going to work. And then I have a wiring kit because it's just cheaper to get all the 8-gauge wiring and the fuse and everything like that, and I have a Pioneer monoblock powering it. This is going to be down to 300 at 8 ohms, even though packet says whatever. Yeah, 300 at 8 ohms, that sub's 250, that is going to be perfect. Right, so now we've got all the boot lining out. There's the factory amp for audio stuff. There's the amp that's going in. And I have all my material, I've got carpet, got wood. So over here in the wiring kit, it comes with a ground wire that's going to go to the body, and it comes with all the terminals and everything you need. I'm going to solder these. I don't know if they recommend crimp or whatever, but I'm going to solder. Except for the stuff in the engine bay, that's going to be all crimp, because of vibration and other reasons, like heat, because otherwise you get fatigue and you crack. Oh look, this has already been done for me, that's easy. Alright, so we got this is going to run to the battery, and then it's going to run to the fuse. So I don't know if I'm going to put this in the engine compartment or in the boot. I think I might just put it in the engine compartment because it's a better place for it, because if there's a short anywhere in between the battery and the boot, then this won't protect it. However, if it's in the engine compartment, then it will, but I am not sure yet, as it's just plastic and I don't want it to crack or anything like that from heating up and cooling down again. So anyway, I got the sub in there. We have to take the back seat out. That's sub's going to be taken out. As you can see, it just mounts in there, so it's just a free to air sub. And yeah, as I'll show you again, on here you can see there's not much space there because there's an air purifier. So I'm going to keep the air purifier in there, and yeah, just have a shallow mount sub. It's going to be more than loud enough for me. I tried hooking it up to the factory amp. It's decent, although that's only 40 watts, and I'm going to be putting nearly 10 times that power through to the sub. Anyway, let's open the bonnet and see what we're going to do. I apologise in advance for the exposure. Alright, so here we have the battery, and I'm going to be running a line from that. That's going to go down into the car itself. I might put it underneath, but I'm not sure yet. Into the car itself. It's going to run to the back. I'm going to see if I can try and follow the actual factory wiring harness and run along that, and yeah, after that it should be good. It should work, it should sound awesome. Oh yeah, and another thing why I got this amp is because they allow a speaker level input as like this adapter, just a bit of cable to two RCANs. It just allows you to connect a speaker level source. As you can see there, I've got that. I'm going to trace where that goes back because that actually goes back to the factory amp. And yeah, it's going to sound good. Alright, here is a test video with all the wiring hooked up just as a trial, just to see if it works with the old sub box. And it's working perfectly. Sounds awful because that sub box is absolutely terrible. But yeah, I got to do a little bit of adjustment on the gain controls and everything like that. But I think because you got a bass remote on the actual amp itself, I think I might just leave that set, leave it in the boot, because I have a woofer control on the head unit. So yeah, I think it should be fine. Okay, so to get to the parcel shelf, you actually have to take out the seats. Now, upon taking out the seats, we have found that this car cost $5,999. Sweet. Wait. No, I can just go in there for now. Alright, onwards and upwards. Okay. Recording. Alright. So, automotive archaeology time. True Mighty Car Mod style. So, all this was clean, right? Now down here, what's this? A radiator overflow bottle for a Toyota Camry. Okay. Oh, we can run wiring. That's awesome. We can run wiring under here. It is so dirty here, and it smells pretty bad. But it's sound deadening, and that's good, I guess. 10 cents. Cost us 10 cents less now. Woo. Right, rear seat is totally out. Gives me space to run wiring. No idea what this wire does. I'll find out what that does. What's this? Like a temperature sensor? I don't know. I'll have to look it out. Anyway, I can run wiring through here, through that grommet. Actually, no, because the source is going to be on this side, and you don't want, you don't want anything line level running parallel with anything power level. It's just something that was, I don't know, said, just about noise and everything, trying to keep noise down. But anyway, so there we go. It's totally out. Now time to take the parcel shelf out, take the old sub out, put the new sub in, and then we've got to piece this all back together. Let's do this. Alright, here we go. Let's hope the parcel shelf comes out easy. Alright, so I got the seat belts. Oh, too easy. And then can't forget the connector for a brake light, which I have to kind of look at. The connector just there? No, it's not. Okay, where is it? So the wire is running in. Alright, I don't know if we're going to be able to do that, but we can take this old, bad, not so working sub out. Let's do this. Alright, let's get this sub out. You know what, take the extension off, don't need it. So also coming from the other amp, know which colour the wires are so I can run them into the inputs of my new amp. I know it's not the best way to do it, but there's going to be a low pass filter, and it's not going to be very noisy because of the low pass filter, because otherwise you get white noise. A lot of people in there. We can finally take the old factory sub out. Here we are. As you can see, not much left of it. What is it? Toyota, 40 watts, 4 ohms. Oh, I thought these were actually a lower impedance. Alright, anyway. Sub is out. New one can go in. Let me get it. Let's do a test fit. Oh, mint. What's stopping it? Small bit of the air purifier. Well, I'll have a look at that and see what I can do about it. I'll probably make a spacer ring for it, just so I can mount it easier. And actually, what if oh, that's going to be too much work. I'll make a spacer ring out of wood, and that will boost it up. Or I can try and take the part of the air purifier out, or I don't know. Not sure yet. We'll see what happens. Alright, so now the next thing that's going to be really difficult to do is running the 8 gauge cable for the power. Now the engine bay from an Aristo or anything with the 2JZ is very cramped. It's a complicated setup, so this had to take a bit of thinking. I'm not sure where I'm going to go once it's inside there. I'm going to have to run under the carpet, and then it's going to go under the carpet there, up to the back, and then I can just send it to the back. That's going to be pretty easy to do. There's a grommet here and everything, so yeah. But anyway, so there was an aftermarket temp gauge installed, and the wire to the sender is here. And one trick that I learnt from a AV installer that I did work experience with was that if you pull it through a cable, you tape it to the cable that you want to pull through, and you can just pull the other cable through and it will pull it with it. And yeah, it's kind of easy to imagine what it's like. But so all you have to do, tape it here, pull it through. Let's hope it doesn't snag up on anything, and then it should pull it through to the cabin, and that will be good. Alright, another update. It's getting darker. Put a torch on so you guys can see a little bit, but I've ran the power cable, and I'm going to tuck it in a little bit better, zip tight and all that sort of stuff. Ran it along where part of the harness runs, and we pulled it through under the dash, and it's just the right length to reach into the boot. And now I'm just preparing the stop amp connections and stuff like that. One day I might switch over to the line level input or line level output from the head unit and run that straight into the amp that I have. But for now, I'm not exactly sure if that's like a normal positive negative sort of signal, but I guess I'll find out eventually. But the rest of it's coming along nicely. I just got to put some trim pieces back on and it should be good. So I ended up never finishing the subwoofer episode, oh dear. So in conclusion to this episode, I didn't cover absolutely everything, which I just didn't get time for. But the subwoofer's in, the amp's in. The amp isn't properly mounted yet, but the subwoofer's definitely properly mounted. And this is what it sounds like. Ignore the crackling, that's just my phone. A little bit of bass boost as well, so. I know So yeah, it works. It sounds really, really good because of one reason, and I'll show you that right now. So as you probably saw during the episode, I did a subwoofer that was mounted on the parcel shelf, and that subwoofer's still there. As you can see, there's that Pioneer shallow mount there. This is actually from a different color trimmer, so that's why it looks so out of place, because my one just fell apart from the UV. But look at this. There's an actual sub box in here. Now, the reason why I went with an actual sub box versus the parcel shelf sub box is that the parcel shelf is really, really bad with resonance, and I tried to sound deaden the crap out of it. Still didn't work that well, and it rattles and the whole thing flexes and everything like that. So you get some bass notes that are really, really, really hot, which is not really wanted, and the transient response was absolutely awful. So I literally went into Cash Converters, which is like a pawn shop, and I bought a $50 Pioneer sub box just because, until I get my proper setup done, and it sounds a whole lot better. And that little Pioneer monoblock amp runs it just fine. So there you go. That was what I did with the install in the end. And as you probably know as well, I have a different head unit now. I've got an Alpine single DIN Bluetooth head unit, which I'll be upgrading to a Clarion one, not one that's not so flashy, but it's got a lot more adjustment over EQs and everything like that. And eventually I'll be going JL audio in the front speakers, looking at getting C5s, running them off a 4-channel amp and running some rear speakers, probably some C3s or some cheaper speakers and everything like that. And then a proper sub outfit. I'm not sure on the brand yet, but yeah, that's the whole install, pretty much finished and done and everything like that. So got a good sounding stereo from factory, so there was no real reason to get rid of those factory speakers just yet. But yeah, works well.
You make me